So now we're getting into me setting up camp. And not checking with the big guy is like I'm in the full-blown production and things are rolling. Things are rolling. And now I'm running out of room, so I can't go out, so I go up. And this was like, I still have this. It's about 4 foot, 3.5 foot. Just is a proof print. It's kind of neat. But got the wood, and oh, these were the hallways. These are the posters I had all stacked up in the room. Now I feel like I'm missing a bunch of pictures. But this was the hallway I was going to wainscot. Oh, no. So when I got the posters, this is how they arrived. When I had to pay for the delivery. So before I got them all tagged and everything else, I was running out of room in here, so I had to keep them on the hallway for a couple of days. But that's what I thought this was when I was moving out. But, so yeah, this is 6,800. I mean, it was fun. It was fun. It was fun. It was just having fun. So now I start loading up on groceries because I'm thinking I might have surgery and I'll be out. So, not to get into the provision, but I've got the cookies, got the cereal. It's like, now that I know I don't eat this, I eat cookies still, but look at the coffee. Coffee. Whatever. But this, okay, now I'm thinking, okay, the pictures are a little bit out of order, but not tell you why in a second. But yeah, so this was the hallway. I emptied that. The thing is, it's not me. It's a small effort, and it gave me something to do, and it worked. I'm just saying that the system was working with the house, and I was fine with it. I don't mind playing garbage boy, because it had to be that way. So we collect all the bottles, and I don't know why, but I don't know what but I ended up collecting all the bottles. It'll get to a point. Well, okay. We'll get to the bottles in a second. So I had a 3-layer tier of racks for the poster. And I think this one had 2, and then this area had 2. So actually maybe 4 layers. 3, I thought it was 3. But okay, going back to the bottles. So he kept all the bottles, and I was going to give the bottles back to the house, but then, and I'm trying to save up for the big climax, but I got everything done. I'm just going to do it. I got everything done, and I was exhausted because I had to make 2 trips while everyone's getting ready for their big function, and I'm buttoning up everything in the kitchen, everything else. And these guys are like, well, are you going to get it done? And it's like, yeah, I might need I could use a hand, but not that no one offered, but I had to walk a couple miles to a hardware store to get a couple extra things that sure would have been nice if someone volunteered to give me a ride, but they're all getting ready for their party. Got the party, and everything went well for their party. They showed off the house and the kitchen and the new room and everything else. Come Monday, I get a letter in the mail, and it's, one of these overnight type letters. I opened it up, and I thought it was going to be a thank you from the house president, and it says, "You're being evicted." So I thought it was going to be a thank you note, and it's an eviction notice. So we'll get to that in a second. But so I don't know why. I guess I was the living condition. This is the downstairs TV area. Oh, one of the things I did when I was starting to feel comfortable and get my place in there, and I was getting received pretty well by people, I invited everyone. Was it either the Super Bowl or the Oscars? I think it was the Oscars. I invited everyone for pizza, and I got pizzas to watch the Oscar. But the real reason I did it was I asked them if they would be okay if I got a dog. And that was caught the middle of February, and I got a letter or an email at like 4 in the morning. No, that's when it was time-stamped, or 4:30 in the morning, time-stamped from the president saying, I don't want to hear anything about this dog. End of story. I was like, wow, that didn't take long for word to get around the house. Because there's one guy who was a little mole for the guy. Because one of the times I cleaned up, I told the house president guy, or I told Joe, I told Joe that the guys cleaned it up. I didn't do it. And then he found out I lied to him, that I was the guy that cleaned everything up. And at this point, Joe and I are on the outs. So the thing with the dog, that was before we were on the outs, but that didn't help things. And well, let's just go to Dr. Edwards, little weasel. Hold on. So this was Dr. Edwards. He was the house president or overseer. And this little twit, this guy winked at me once, which really kind of creeped me out. But there's a bigger part of the story that I'm debating, where I'm eventually going to tell it. This guy was a fruitcake. And the thing is, something was going on with Joe, because his brother was this guy that, and the thing, oh, do I want to go? I'm struggling here because this will bring God no glory. So I'm just going to refrain. I just forget it. Just forget it. I helped those guys quite a bit. That's all I'm going to say. I'm not going to do it. I'm just not going to do it. So anyway, so they kicked me out. And I fought it and lost. But I took them to court and I sued. I sued the house, and I sued, the agency that handled the rent, because I had it in a receipt or with a confirmation of my monthly check when I renewed the lease, saying going to work, compensation for materials and labor for rent. And I have all that stuff, but it will do no good. I will spend hours going through that, and it serves nothing but what I went through. It was another car wash cycle that I had to go through, which was pretty horrendous, because not only did I lose all the posters, I had to sue, and I barely got back my $3,000 out-of-pocket expense. I got kicked out. I had to find a place kind of at the last minute, because I sat on the room until I was evicted. And legally, I stayed till the very end and told them that I was, when I was going to leave. But took him to court and lost. And obviously a judge doesn't know what meeting of the minds is. And it's just how crooked the law system is. Because it was spelled out that compensation for rent was materials and labor. The I's and the T's weren't crossed, but I didn't have to. Nothing on there said. I had all the receipts, and all the receipts were approved at this point. So it's not like I went in and out of pocket. No, I turned in receipts, and I know I have all those, but to bring them all up would just exhaust time, and I've already spent too much time on things that are unnecessary. But when I got kicked out, I put all my stuff up for auction. That's why all these other pictures were there, because I was just getting rid of, where is it? I was auctioning off of bowl quarters and change, because people were like, why are you getting kicked out? You just did all that. I said, well, you tell me. So, but these were the posters, auction. But I was going to raffle off all my stuff, because I was so livid with that. But everything happens for a reason, you know? That's the takeaway. So with all these beer bottles, the guy that ended up helping me move out, I just gave, the heck with the house. I just gave him, it was like $70 worth of returns. So it's what, 700 bottles? But it took us a few trips to the store. But I gave him, in compensation to help me move out. But I had to find a place, which now I've got on my record I've been evicted in Ann Arbor. So that was hard to find. I had to pay cash at the place I ended up. The only reason I got the place that I ended up was I was on the same church mailer as these people, and they thought, well, I must be okay. But I'm not going to get into the church thing, because I just rant and rave about it, or say bad things about them. Had to pack everything up and move out. And this is where I left all Joe's tools, because I could have kept them, but I didn't. Not that I needed to, but I wanted to do a lot of things, and I didn't. Yeah. So I got kicked out. And, that's my place now. So we don't need to do this. So, anyway. I think that wraps it up. But, we'll see what happens. All right.